Video game? Yeah, briefly.
Video game history 101.
Hello, I'm Akumakon, otherwise known as Terra. That one died. That's a little high there, right there. I think that's kind of nice. I think it makes a real touch. Quite proud of it. Bit of a warning. I did not finish this panel because I opened it up yesterday to the great vision of image not found, image not found, image not found. So I'm going to be a little bit improvising today, but hopefully you'll still like me all the same and don't think I'm a bad person. Okay, so this is the history of video games. So let's begin. So yeah, we all like video games? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. An important thing to know when I'm talking about the history of video games is it's massive. Like, I can't cover everything. I'm not going to cover everything. I'd love to, but they don't pay me enough. They don't pay me anything actually. Sorry?
Video games 102.
102. Oh, that's where shit hits the fan. That's the big voice. And also we're gonna the big thing with we start a panel about history of video games. The first question obviously is, what was the first video game? And it's kind of a hard question to answer because it all comes down to what you actually define as a video game. Do you define it as something that was designed to be a video game first and foremost, or do you design it, or do you see it as something that just some guy made up and said, oh, this is fun? So I like to think of it as something that was designed to be a video game from start to finish, rather than just being a test on a PDP or something like that. So, in my eyes, first of all, these are the things I was talking about. Right on the left we have OXO, and on the right we have Tennis for Two on the Silo display. These were more tests for existing supercomputers at the time during the 50s and early 60s. But they were designed first and foremost as tests, not as video games. But to be fair to their credit, they were some of the first graphical user stuff. So, in my eyes, this is the first video game ever made. It's called Space War. It was released in 1962, and it was developed by Slug, as it's called. Now, if I can get a video of this guy, this is pretty much what Space War is. Can't really see it on the projector. Basically, there's two ships orbiting a black hole, and they're trying to kill each other. So cute. You really can't see it on that projector. So yeah, that was pretty good for a first video game, and quite a few people recognized it. Quite a few people got to play it, even though it was video games. What a god, really John. He's not here. So yeah, this was one of the first commercially successful video games, as well as being the first video game that was really designed from start to finish to be a video game. So one of the people who did end up playing it was a man called... Why don't you work? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Shut your hole. Okay, this decided to work on me. This is a disaster. I hate myself. Why is it working? John! Anyway, you can see it. That guy's called... what the fuck?
That's what you get for buying a Packard Bell.
Shut your face, Sarah. You can still see it, that's good. It's still a disaster, but whatever. This is Nolan Bushnell, widely credited as the founder of Atari. When he was studying at MIT, he actually played Space War on the DEC PDP-1 output, and was pretty much inspired to make video games. So what he did was he converted an already existing copy of Space War into an arcade version called Computer Space, and this is widely known as one of the first arcade games. He did this with his friend Ted Danby at Nottingham Associates Software, and got no money for it, and was kicked out of his job. So where he said, fuck this, let's make Atari. And he made his own company. So a lot of people think that Pong is the first video game. No, but Pong is definitely one of the most recognizable video games of the 70s, and yeah. So right here we have Breakout, which was actually designed by the late Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, because Steve Jobs, someone returned there actually. Pointless knowledge, yeah. There's it's a first-person racing game, I forget the name of it. This is Space Race, and this is Tank. So there were some of the early Atari games made, like in the period between 1972 and 1976, when Nolan Bushnell and all of his associates decided we'll do something a bit crazy. So they wanted to make something they did as a home console, something that would play on your TV. You could hook up to your TV and it would run. And this was unheard of at the time, except for the Magnavox Odyssey, which was pretty much a commercial failure. The rest of Canada. So this was the Atari 2600. This is a pretty popular console. It's one of the icons of the late 70s, early 80s. But Atari didn't have enough money to actually start making it. So what they did was they actually had to sell the company to Warner Communication, and they did this. Doing this meant they gave control over Atari to Warner, and in particular, one man came in to try, quote, run Atari, a man by the name of Ray Kassar. Nolan Bushnell was fired in the first year of Warner's Communications takeover because they didn't like him. So after that, Ray Kassar was made CEO of Atari, and the Atari 2600 started to get really popular. As in, really popular. Then it became to the ages we know as the golden age of arcade video games. So this is the period we all know. This is Donkey Kong, this is Space Invaders, this is Pac-Man, Frogger's there, this is Command, Robotron 2084, Q-Burst, and Defender. And I just put a picture of Shigeru Miyamoto in the middle because he's God. He's God. And he was also the designer of Donkey Kong, so that makes it pretty cool. He's definitely so. But after a while, you know, from 1982, the sales started to go down a bit, and eventually, well, it kind of all crashed. So there's a few reasons for this. It's widely known as the video games industry crash of 1983, in North America at least. So there is a few reasons for this. The most widely known reason is because of this one game. I apologize for this. Oh, that's quite cool. This was one of the first movie license games. So let's see how that is. It was one of the most pre-ordered games of its year. When it came out, people weren't happy. Because, well, it looks like shit. So yeah. What are we supposed to do? I've seen this video so many times, but I still don't know what the object of the game is. Look at the arrow doesn't tell me where to go. Where's this? So yeah, that was a massive failure. Fun fact that they made around 1 million copies of this game, where only 750,000 Atari 2600s existed. They made more games thinking that people were just going to buy an Atari 2600 to play ET, and you know, that didn't happen. So they dumped all the surplus cartridges into a landfill in New Mexico. That was widely known as another myth, but it was since confirmed a few years ago. So I think that's actually rather amazing. So after that, there was a few other reasons why the video games industry crashed. Right here we have a Commodore 64. This is the advent of home computing starting to come into its own. So you had the Commodore 64 and you had the Apple II. So people started thinking, why just buy a video game console? Why can't I just buy a computer that will do my word processing and play video games at the same time? So that really killed some of the video game sales. Another one is Pac-Man. The Atari 2600 version of Pac-Man. Again, a very very much pre-order game.